yellow and blue jersey's gone. The lights have finally gone out.
Welcome to stage 7 of the Dauphiné. The GC battle is set to be decided this weekend with lots of climbing on the menu. Today we go from Saint-Chaffrey to Vaujany in the heart of the Alps. The first 125k are the same as stage 12 of this summer's Tour de France, with two mighty climbs, the Col du Galibier and the Col de la Croix de Fer. Well, Primož Roglič will have fond memories of this part of the world. In 2017, he won his first Tour de France stage in Saint-Chaffrey, having gone over the Croix de Fer and the Galibier, potentially a good omen for today.
Beautiful memories, huh? I mean, it's crazy the way I won, yes, the first stage in Tour de France in 17, going over, finishing here in Saint-Chaffrey, and yeah, today going the opposite direction, so yeah. For sure will be super hard start, but we'll try to enjoy it.
Wout van Aert was expecting to lose his yellow and blue jersey today, with plenty of riders keen to take it off his shoulders.
Well, I don't think today you can try anything crazy. I think the descent of Croix de Fer is too long, and there's too many strong teammates. Normally the last day is more open to something super aggressive, so I think it'll come down to a bit of an explosion on Vaujany. It's hard enough.
It's a short stage, but it'll be intense, stressful. I'm sure at some point we're going to see the Jumbo-Visma juggernaut. The gaps aren't huge, there are plenty of riders only 3 or 4 minutes back, so I think we could end up with a rider in the breakaway who is pretty close on GC, and that means that Jumbo will control.
De bien classer devant et Jumbo qui roule derrière.
Lots of teams who've taken a back seat at this Dauphiné went on the attack today, and so too did a man who's been very lively indeed, Pierre Rolland in that polka dot jersey.
Galibier,
Croix de Fer, Vaujany, it's a big day, but I'll try to get up the road. Well, an 18-man breakaway formed on the descent of the Galibier after Rolland, who collected maximum points. Some of the GC teams getting men up the road: Andre Amador for Ineos Grenadiers, Luis Leon Sanchez for Bahrain Victorious, Gregor Mühlberger and Carlos Verona for Movistar, and Bruno Armoury for Groupama FDJ. However, Jumbo-Visma were keeping a close eye on things from the peloton. The gap was only around 3 minutes as they hit the Croix de Fer. Mark Donovan then went on the attack for DSM, opening up a gap of around 40 seconds, but it wasn't going to be easy to sustain that effort on a climb of nearly 30 kilometres. The 23-year-old was caught around 7k from the summit after a huge turn from Jasper Stuyven on behalf of his teammate Kenny Elissonde. The Belgian soon dropped as the gradients began to bite. Donovan and Amador were also distanced. UNO-X Pro Cycling giving Jumbo-Visma a hand at the front of the peloton for Tobias Hahn and Johannesson. Groupama FDJ also poking their noses out on behalf of David Gaudu. A couple of riders then decided to shake things up at the front, Mühlberger upping the tempo before Elissonde went on the attack. Well, those injections of pace whittled down the breakaway to a handful of riders, Roland Verona and Victor Lafay joining Mühlberger and Elissonde before the summit. The main peloton also reduced to around 20 riders as Van Aert finally cracked. Bahrain Victorious joining the chase with Jack Haig and Damiano Caruso. Roland took another 15 points at the summit, wrapping up the mountains classification. He just needs to reach the finish line tomorrow. Verona joining him over the summit and then flying into this descent. Elissonde would quickly catch him up at the front, with these two riders absolutely ripping down this mountain. The gap back to the main GC favourites was around a minute and a half at the foot of the final climb. The stage victory still in the balance. Groupama still working for Gaudu, chasing his second win of the week. Up at the front, Verona dropped Elissonde and went solo. The Spaniard with a golden opportunity to take his maiden career win, provided there weren't too many fireworks in the group of favourites. There were some attacks in the GC group, but the big names were all there in the final. Until Jonas Vingegaard lit things up for Jumbo-Visma and only Ben O'Connor and Primož Roglič could follow. Verona still had around 20 seconds when Primož Roglič surged clear. Would the Spaniard suffer the same fate as Gino Marder at last year's Paris-Nice? He was still going solo at the Flamme Rouge with Roglič in hot pursuit.
But Carlos Verona finally, at 29 years of age, wins his first ever pro victory and the first World Tour victory for Movistar this season. Behind them, it's Primož Roglič. He's going to take the yellow and blue jersey. And what a performance that was on Vaujany.
Finally, at the age of 29, Carlos Verona has his first career win. With their GC leader Enric Mas struggling today, Movistar went for the stage honours, and Verona, also named the most combative rider, held off Roglič in the final kilometre. He has come close in the past, third on a Tour de France stage in 2020, second on a Vuelta stage in 21, and now finally first on a Dauphiné stage in 2022. It's incredible. This is my 12th year as a professional. I feel like I've always been improving, but I was missing this victory. The last few years have boosted my confidence. I wasn't far off at the Tour 2 years ago and then the Vuelta last year. And when I found myself in today's breakaway, I was thinking, this is the day. Verona taking it by 13 seconds from Roglič, who takes over the race lead from his teammate Van Aert. Vingegaard completing the stage podium ahead of O'Connor. Impressive work from Johannesson to come fifth. Roglič leads the Dauphiné by 44 seconds from Vingegaard, with O'Connor his nearest challenger at 1:24. Theo Gegenhardt and Caruso round out the top five. Van Aert should be heading home with the green jersey tomorrow, even if Ethan Hayter cut the gap at today's intermediate sprint. 14 points between the two riders. Pierre Rolland has an unassailable lead in the mountains classification after an impressive day out. The Frenchman one stage away from taking the polka dot jersey at the Dauphiné for the second time, 14 years after he won it in 2008. And tomorrow there should be a great battle for the white jersey. Johannesson, the winner of last year's Tour de l'Avenir, now leads the youth classification by a single second from Matteo Jorgensen. Sunday's 8th and final stage takes us over the Col de Plainpalais and the Col de la Colombière to the Plateau de Solaizon, a brutal climb of 11.3 kilometres at 9.2%. Can anybody stop Roglič from completing a Paris-Nice and Dauphiné double? Join us tomorrow to find out, and thanks very much for watching.